A brother's grief. Uh-oh. Brother as in Varshahn? Y'shtola is appraising the Void Gate with a scholarly eye. Oh, yep, it's about dragons. Get that music going.
I must admit, I am deathly curious to know how a Void Gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins.
To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory. An age 5 millennia passed when the Algan Empire sent an invading force to the shores of Merasidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors. With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mercidians resorted to summoning primal entities. In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the Void.
Yeah, this bitch.
Thus bolstered by icons on one side and Void Scent on the other, the two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss.
I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen.
I mean, he is a dragon. He lives a fucking long time.
Indeed, I did. I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped toward that war-torn land. Along with my sibling, Azdaja.
You mentioned her.
We dragons are not male or female as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me. I was the last of our brood to hatch, and Azdaja cared for me where my sire could not. Thus I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Void-sent hordes. Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends we cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Azdaja risked her all on a final gamble. She plunged through the Void Gate itself to strike at the root of their strength.
That's pretty gutsy.
I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could. But even as I came upon Alag's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her.
Wait a minute, but when asked about your brother and sisters, you mentioned Azdaja, but you said she was quiet as ever, unless you just didn't want to say at the time what had really happened to her. But why bring her up at all? Nobody else knew her name at the time. That's a little weird.
And Azdaja has been lost to us ever since.
I mean, I guess what he said was true from a certain point of view.
I find I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see mention of such noble sacrifice.
That does not surprise me. To Allagan eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove through the gate and did not return. For my part, I spent long years searching for the means to reunite with Azdaja. Until I could search no more. Until Alag was dust, and the art to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon forever lost.
But small enough to fit a person.
Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here, under the control of a harnessed device.
My discovery came before radz-at-han was founded. Though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift, it was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planar fissure. It was, however, far too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of our talented alchemists, did matters take a favorable turn. Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly, they worked to expand the fissure, and after decades of toil, it finally grew to a size that a child might pass through.
Oh. Is that why he made the simulacrum small, like a kid? Varshahn is a very specific size.
Not long ago, you told us that you called out to your kin, that Azdaja's answer was silence.
Yes, yes.
I suspect the conclusion to your tale is not a joyful one.
With hope in my heart, I used the simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her.
It's been a long time.
What I found was a host of void scent, clamoring around the opening they had sensed. It was but a moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more.
Well, I mean, it's open right now, so maybe we should close
The
it.
gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering radz-at-han and abandoning your sister. And you chose the latter.
'Twas not that thy sibling scorned thy call. 'Twas that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass. Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th.
I can scarce imagine your pain, yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void.
Yeah, didn't Nero get... man, it's been forever since I did World of Darkness, but Nero got really fucked up from being in there.
You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness.
Yeah. Fuck. I love this game. And I love how my character is thinking the exact same fucking thing I was. Says, I thought our time had come. I remember when Nero turned purple. But nobody else did, which is weird.
Turned purple? Well, yes. His wounds had allowed the void's corruption to enter his body and twist his ether.
Oh, is that what happened? Fuck, I need to replay those cutscenes.
Had it been allowed to progress much longer, I presume he would have been fully transformed.
Yeah, he was not in a good way.
Then there is little hope for Azdaja.
Well, she is a dragon, and she is from another world, so I don't know.
Ah, no. I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities.
Yeah. No.
The scales of the first brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome.
It's okay, Graha.
Of course. With the warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies.
Oh shit, let's go. Let's go right fucking now.
Be that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late.
Oh. Never say never, kid. Or dragon.
And now countless others look to me for guidance and protection.
So what are you gonna do? Close it?
So when I sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed. That, and to secure the treasure, of course.
Now you give some of that treasure out.
I wish only to forget the rest.
Oh, man, poor Vrtra. She doesn't want it to close. Naughty Kitty's gonna try to open it up again. What? Oh shit. Bit of a delayed quest accepted there. So they managed not only to expand the fissure, but also manipulate it as one might a gate. Can I tell you about what I did in the Shadowbringers role quest? We did this a bunch of times. Astonishing. Is there any chance I could learn more of how this feat was accomplished? I will tell you what I can. First, however, I must return to the High Crucible and arrange to replace the guardians you so handily destroyed. It will not do to leave the gate undefended. My apologies. We were perhaps a touch zealous in our rush to uncover the vault's secrets. If the constructs can be repaired, we would be happy to offer our assistance. That will not be necessary. Much as I retain spare vessels for myself, we keep duplicate guardians on hand for such eventualities. In any case, we should return to radz-at-han. Wait though, but that means some people actually did probably die when this place was defended before, so that kind of sucks that they couldn't have just like found a better way to keep people out. It's like, no, well, if they're dumb enough to come in, kill them. Rub them out. It was a most enjoyable expedition for which I am grateful. As for mine evaluation, I shall impress upon the Loperites that a treasure vault is incomplete without daunting sentinels to test the mettle of any would-be intruders. Maybe not, lethally? I promise we will discuss the Void Gate further, but first I must attend to the matter of the vault's sentinels. Now, do we have to help with that? As your instruments have no doubt informed you, the Capiculu has been reduced to so much scrap. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it is conveyed to its post, along with a few lesser constructs. Was it tomb robbers? Fiends born of the Tower of Zot? By the sisters, do not tell me a blasphemy yet roams free. Not quite. Don't everybody look at me. It's an uncomfortable silence where they don't want to admit that they fucked up. Oh, stop looking suspicious. Oh, he figured it out. Why such guilty faces? Surely it isn't you who are responsible for this. Oh. Well, the details aren't important. I shall see it done immediately. Sorry. Our bad. And with that, the vault will soon be secure once more. Now I believe you had questions? Quite a few, in fact, but I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes? Indeed, which is why I saw it sealed with an alchemically forged lock and warded it with my magics. Such power must not fall into the wrong hands. In truth, the primary reason for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unspeakable horrors. Yeah, I don't think Estinien hasn't been to the world of darkness, has he? That said, in its current state, it would admit only the lowliest of void scent, and from this side, no man would be able to pass through. Maybe Lalafell? No man. I should think Alphino would fit, given a firm enough push. Physical size is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density of the soul in transit. Oh. I guess that would make sense why someone like an Ascian could get through all these different worlds, because they don't have physical bodies, so they're that much easier to to travel through these kinds of holes and spaces. And yet you succeeded in expanding this diminutive portal and sending your simulacrum into the 13th. Thanks to my brilliant alchemists, I should have destroyed the anomaly when I found it, but instead I bade them devise a means to control it. After much experimentation, they accomplished the impossible. A method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. But the process has long since been forgotten. Once I had given up searching for Azdaja, there was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous knowledge. I mean, I'm sure Nidhana could figure it out in like an afternoon. She's pretty smart. Thus the gate lay dormant for years uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simple thanks to the Crystal Tower. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open a void gate, one bound to a covenant made with the Cloud of Darkness. Once that sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken, and the doorway severed from its connection to the void. Theoretically, it should be possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new pact with another void sent. But such deals usually end in betrayal and death. Didn't we just see what looks like Xenos' old avatar back in that world? In any case, we should attempt to gain an understanding of the bounty gate. Mayhap you could resume the search for your sister? As I have already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place and my duty is here now. I had meant to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? Well, we kind of do want to go from world to world. To see if the legends were true was all Estinien's idea. Yeah, there's so many good, funny lines this time around. It was his idea. That's not a lie. And maybe if I mention the fact that he did it to help other people, maybe Varshahn would help them. It was all Estinien's idea. As I recall, 'twas you who was chasing tales of undersea ruins. Well, yeah, I had to research for you, but you had the map. Well, as you have seen, the fabulous wealth from the stories is quite real, if not its rumored origin, but I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. I've been adding to that trove for years, little by little, but the time has come to spend it, that I might alleviate my people's suffering. Oh, good. Okay, good. Problem solved. Then we are of one mind. We had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? She seems like she doesn't believe it. What is that expression on her face? Your Excellency, would you object if I were to conduct a closer examination of the gate? I will make no attempt to open it, of course. I owe you and yours a debt that can never be repaid. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have it. Oof, that is a dangerous promise. You are most gracious. I shall take full advantage of your permission. Would that I could join thee in thy study, but the Loporits will be anxious to receive my report. I beg my leave of you. Plus, my boyfriend's been hanging around in Charlian with nothing to do, so I need to check on him. Or, I needst to checketh upon him. And I must be off to Charlian as well. Mr. Skrull is eager to speak with you about that request. Oh, fuck, I forgot. Yeah. So please come back to the annex as soon as you're able. Farewell for now. I wonder if it's a related request. Man, you can't tease me with void gates and then just push me in another direction. We can discuss my findings once I return. You'll not be rid of me so easily. Oh. You may now undertake the Chronicles of a New Era quest series, Myths of the Realm. Oh, this is the Alliance raid. Oh, that's weird. Oh. So I had to do this to access that? I didn't even look up the prerequisites for that. Alright, Estinien, what's going on? I hope you enjoyed the expedition at least. Otherwise it was a heavy purse to pay for a treasure map leading to a treasure we couldn't keep. Yeah, how much did you pay, by the way? The difficult part in all this will be deciding how best to put these riches to use. Will you lend me your assistance in these deliberations? Sure. Of course. Anything to make up for the constructs we broke. Then think of your employment as recompense. Serve me as guest advisors, and I will consider the broken constructs paid for in full. Gaddis and I are in this together. I will follow his example. Uh-oh. No, what is this? Meanwhile, elsewhere. In the creepy place. What the fuck? Okay, so this is definitely on the 13th then. That is a huge chair. Oh no. Okay. For a second I was like, please don't be Xenos, please. What the hell? Different colors? Is this like garland? What is this? Is this garland? I didn't play Strangers in Paradise or the very first Final Fantasy, but didn't he have 4 fiends? I sensed the breaching of a gate, but it was not instigated from the side. 'Twas thrown open from the other. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. There are more pressing matters at hand. Really? I mean, that's a pretty big matter, right? An opportunity is upon us, the coming of which we have awaited for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip our grasp. Yet we must not underestimate he who bested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Oh, they knew about that too, huh? Whoops. Bah, let him come. I will drown the world and watch this fleshling gasp for breath in his final moments. I mean, that's funny, but I actually have a spell on me that I can just breathe in water, so you wouldn't be able to drown me, I think? You could try, though. Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Think back on our struggles beneath this sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. 'Tis time we set the war in motion and win redemption for our star. What is this? His armor sure looks like a Garland-type armor, but... unless it's just a reference. Sharing the wealth. Varshahn wishes to discuss the distribution of treasure. Great. Give it mostly to me, and then I'll figure out who needs some. Shall we begin? If we're to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which groups would benefit most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. Wouldn't it also be intimidating to speak with the savior of, like, all Aetheris? Maybe not. Gaddis, you are to visit Akiali and Yedelmad, speak with Matsia and his people, and listen to their grievances. Estinien, I bid you do the same at Palikistan. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at Megaduda. Oh, Gaddis, I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat then? Oh yeah. Anything the village desperately needs? Well, I suppose Kazal's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best we can. Greetings and welcome, traveler. If this is your first visit to Thavnair, then you must try my special Is this the same dude that tried to overcharge us on the lassie when we first arrived? I'm pretty sure it is. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. Do you not recall this Ellison face? What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally I part with 3 bottles for the generous price of 19,800 gil, but for you I am willing to go as low as even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing it from me. Stealing? At that price, you're the only thief around here. Still not turning a profit these days. I am not Estinien. I'm not Estinien. Estinien? Who is Estinien? You're the one who was with that spear-toting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me, we might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices. I tell you, if I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. I mean, okay, that's still not an excuse to rip people off, but... Times are lean, my friend. Are you sure you wouldn't care for a slightly overpriced lassie? Wait, can I actually buy from you? No, I can't. I wouldn't mind tossing you some gil. Something wrong? How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that the danger is past, certainly. But no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add to that the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kazal and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done, God's rest his soul. Okay, you've spoken with key local figures and gained an understanding of the populace's hardships. Varshahn awaits your report at Megaduda. I mean, that's the trouble, though. Money is money, but you can't use it to buy back lives that were lost, so we're in kind of a difficult spot here. Ah, my advisor's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least, and there are a few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. You are a big guy. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palikistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they persevered with some assistance from Yedlmad. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like, and I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs, for the most part. Palikistan has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skull to a foreign trader. But such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thavnair has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade so that we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Achiali and Yedlmad? I see. Without a dedicated buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied soldiers in Yeddelmad. True, I was saying, like, you have all that money and treasure, but if you don't have the manpower, you're kind of stuck. I am reminded of a child I spied as I made my way to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beasts sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over. So many lives lost. The kid. Yeah, I was thinking about that kid too. Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome, but we will not. Gaddis, Estinien, I will consider the perspectives you've brought me, and devise a plan to help my people confront this adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Azdaja's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul.
Oh, he still misses him.
Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlemad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more.
Oh, he's still injured here from when they took all his scales. He hasn't even had time to, like, rest.
None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
Oh, they seem to like that idea.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
Oof. Very direct question there.
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. The simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society.
Couldn't the Radiant Host take them in? Give them jobs?
Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
Oh god, you're asking me? Oh boy. Taxes. Levy them on trade profits in exchange for your investment. It takes a village. Idleshire's orphanage was funded through trade in highly coveted goods. Yeah, there should be some kind of orphanage for them. The Firmament's orphanage was built as part of a communal restoration effort. Taxes are just gonna piss people off, probably. This line doesn't really say enough. The Idleshire idea is good, but not quite there. But having it be communal helps other people as well as the kids. So I think the firmament was a great example of how to do it. So let's pick that. Plus it's Ishgard.
Of course, the revival of trade can contribute to the building of a new institution.
Exactly.
Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Azdaja's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage.
It is kind of like a tax, but okay. Yeah, sure.
Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
Yeah, make it catchy so people will like it. Oh no, don't make me pick. Oh, but this is the same answer. Why not honor one of your most successful merchants? Something with Khalzal seems appropriate. Everybody definitely remembered him fondly.
A fitting candidate. Khalzal should be remembered, not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavnair, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Khalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well.
Yeah, he didn't do it on purpose. He was at his lowest point because he had been trying, because everyone depended on him, and he felt he was failing them and himself. So I felt really bad for him.
Isn't that right, men?
Oh, he's happy about that.
This
Good.
bodes well for that boy. Narad, was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Yeah, if something bad hasn't happened to him while we've been gone.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Khalzal Foundation.
That sounds a little clunky, but we'll workshop it.
Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor.
Round up all the kids.
Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. I'm reminded of Ishgard.
That's a good thing. Change is good. Two positive steps forward. Get some more Papoda pancakes. Bridging the rift. The veteran Radiant wishes to share his gratitude. Oh, sure. Thank you for putting forth Khalzal's name. Those whose lives he has enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. I bear a message from Archon Y'shtola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood. Thank you. Y'shtola must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? Do you want to be saying that there's a Void Gate just like to everybody who's listening? It's kind of like private knowledge, right? Estinien? I will go with you. I thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been the well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Ahorn assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done. And I'm curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish. Allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency.
Right, here we all are.
There's a hell of an echo in this room.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vrtra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world.
Alright. So we need something over there?
The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Yeah, now I can do it easily. Whenever I want.
Then what of the many void scent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
That's a really good question.
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power.
Wait, what? Where are we going?
To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact.
Why do you even need a statue with the gargoyle on it, though? That doesn't seem to be connected to it. Just for visualization purposes?
Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first.
So the ones that come through to the...
And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th.
Oh. I never thought about that before, that when we kill those, we're not actually killing the entire creature. That is an interesting idea to bring up.
Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Oh, okay, so there is a purpose. Never mind what I said earlier. How do you control it afterwards? How does it just not instantly try to kill the caster?
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
Oh.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No. The danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Yeah, we are kind of crazy, aren't we? To do this kind of shit for fun.
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I kill that stuff every day. It's no big deal. I can handle it. You just gotta AoE them.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
Count me in. So much for taking it easy. I thought I was gonna get to take a nap for once.
Since when were you one for the quiet life?
Yeah, point taken.
Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
It's a pretty dangerous proposition, but...
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
This could endanger somebody, honestly. It's not without its problems.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single voidsent will be allowed to threaten radz-at-han, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
I don't know if you can actually guarantee that. That's something
You have a plan.
That's dangerous to promise.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daimir was overseeing the project.
Daimir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a voidsent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made voidsent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
Man-made?
A man-made voidsent?
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daimir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
The Numenon? Yeah. Not with what, I know what it is. This one's the straight answer, but the first thing I was thinking of is, will G'raha have to levitate to get the books we need again? With G'raha's favorite place to sneak around. Man, I am sassy this expansion.
Indeed. Numenon's restricted stacks may very well hold a copy. In which case, I say we head directly to Charlene.
I gotta talk with Kryl anyway, right? So might as well.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves.
See myself being of little use.
Go on ahead. I still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Oh, okay. Go find him.
Let us be on our way as well.
I'm sure Vrtra is still nervous about this whole thing.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
Well, you got a city to take care of. You have a nation to care for. You have responsibilities. Oh. It's okay, we'll help you out. If we're to enter Numenon's restricted archives with a minimum of fuss, then we must secure the permission from the Forum. Yeah, they owe us. I would hope that they would let us go in. First, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? Old guy. Monteshane? Yeah, there you go. What if Scholar Monteshane? He did come to G'raha's defense during the inquiry, after all. 'Tis settled. Let us head to Phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. I can't use the Aetherites when you're following me. I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7, wow, and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. I never had the chance to attend the studium. Neither did Thancred, as I recall. Soon after Master Louisoix took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another Archon. His was rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. Oh, I wonder if that's the mentor he said he was trying to find. Sometimes I wonder what my life might have been like had I pursued studies here instead. Tea at the last stand after a day of lectures? should I wonder as well? Oh, never mind me. Just 'twas an idle thought. Ah, visitors, and quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive the intrusion, Scholark, but we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Numenon's restricted archives. Oh ho! No furtive forays into the stacks this time, eh? I applaud this newfound sense of propriety. Yet in all this wide world of comparative serenity, what so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? We need to look up void gates? It's for a good cause, really. Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Daimir has lain dormant in Charlian's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. About that. That is in fact precisely what we intend. To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift, for one, that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Wow, you got it bad for Runar, I didn't realize. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought, nice, endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future, and yet I want to understand everything. To unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward? Marvelous. An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. And after hearing the whys and wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request for the forum's consideration. Thanks. Hopefully they'll listen to you. Although, your petition would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. Don't make me ask Fortune. Oh god, I was afraid of that. Why, Master Fortunal, of course. He can hardly ignore the earnest request from his dear children's most treasured comrades. He does kind of owe us, right? I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there's no denying that having Master Fortunal on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well. We will pay a visit to the Warrrior estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours, I'd wager, so if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity? What is this little naughty grin of his? Of course, Scholark. We will be sure to pass on any revelations. All these old mages are like very sassy and interesting. Him, Matoya, Louisoix. Master Gaddis, Mistress Yushtola, how may I be of service? We've come to speak with Master Foshinol. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the master is in residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Hey, you old clown. Well, well. Emilience would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matter of import to discuss? Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. Hey, we want to open a void gate. Can you help us? Your kids aren't anywhere near it, so they'd be fine. Can you just give us a green light? Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Scholarch Montagne expressed much the same sentiment. I assure you, will not attempt to circumvent the Forum's authority again. Unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Don't tell him that! Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? Because Y'shtola wants to get laid. And that takes precedence over everything else, apparently. For a brother who misses his sister. Oh, right. Vrtra. Okay, yes, so that's also a thing, too. She was his guardian and his friend, a selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother has given up on his thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in his heart. 'Tis no vital mission, perhaps, reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue all the same. Yes, but you are risking something much larger if it fails, which I would actually be in Forshnaught's camp being cautious about this? As one who feared losing his own loved ones and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Oh, that's a low blow. Oof. Yep, that's gonna make him agree. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Alright. Do not celebrate just yet. The Forum must still be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at the Baldessian Annex. Yeah, I think of all the things on today's list, this is probably going to be the one that makes everyone go like, wait, what? Now, what's the verdict? So, what did the Forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Matoya has burned some bridges here in Sharlayan, and salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the petitioner in question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Fuck, should have just said it was me instead. I mean, I think I have some goodwill from them. Then the chamber was reminded, in no uncertain terms I might add, of the incredible debt we owe to you and your companions. Okay, good. Thank you, Montagne. Wait, did Forshnaugh actually say that? Wow. That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines, and it was agreed to allow you entry in the archives as the least we could do in return. Wow, you've come a long way, Forshnaugh. That's wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, as I'm sure you're aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it is not. I wish you well in your endeavor, and bid you good day. Alright, thanks, Pops. Ever the same, that one. Uncompromising, aye, but that very stoicism is exactly what Sharlayan needed to guide it through not one but two exoduses. If I were but 5 years younger, I'd cast aside my lectern and join you on your adventures in a heartbeat. You sure you might not need a little bit more than 5 years? How old are you anyway? 60? 70? That went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamed up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes, and now I can simply walk in through the door. Okay. With moderation, right? Our focus will be on finding House Thavnair's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. Restricted reading. Montajane is waiting to offer you further instructions. You'll be heading directly to the archives from here, I presume? You presume correctly. Then you'll want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It's been instructed to grant you access to the restricted section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for your help. Oh, it was my pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. So is this going to be like an instanced area? Shall we? Oh god, accompany me again? You don't have to do that. It'd be so much easier if I could just teleport where I need to go to, but... Oh, did I notice this door before?
Archon Y'shtola and guest identified. Do you wish to proceed into the restricted archives? Follow me if you would, watch your step, and please note that the use of naked flames is discouraged.
Naked flames? Oh, cool. Those books would be very inconvenient to reach in the middle there. Oh god, am I actually gonna have to click on all these things?
If House Thavnair's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
Someone is jamming on the piano in this room. Holy shit. Okay. Oh crap, I have to click all these. Untitled journal. Today, in a world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. Oh, this is already promising. She was so unlike her ravenous brethren, eyes blazing not with hunger, but trembling, like a candle's flame threatening to flicker out at any moment. I wonder if she is even the proper word. Such distinctions seem inconsequential, insignificant even. All that matters is the love I feel for this exquisite, transcendent being. Though you're tempted to read more, this does not seem to be the volume you're seeking. Really? It's talking about some kind of void-born void scent? Alright, weighty tome. Oh boy. In the year 1564 of the Sixth Astral Era, the Amalja summoned Ifrit, their patron god. Accounts describe this as being a gigantic lizard-like being with a... Okay, this is about primals. Okay, if we consider that the primal summoning is an act fueled by faith and prayer, it is unsurprising, if not expected, that the resulting deiform entity should manifest the appearance and powers with which it is attributed by its worshippers. What then might emerge from the ether should one who believes in an almighty omniscience attempt the same ritual? Would the scholar himself grace us with his presence? Some other embodiment of divine sagacity? Could this man-made god truly be all-knowing? And if it were, whence would such knowledge arise? I myself have so many questions concerning the nature of the ancient world. With no spell to transport me back to the days of old, could I instead summon a being possessed of encyclopedic wisdom of every age? Yet with no means to verify its pronouncements, how could one be certain they were true? Though your mind spins with the possibilities discussed therein, this does not seem to be the volume you're seeking. That is a very interesting question, though. If you could properly summon, essentially, God, what would happen? The following pages detail an advanced method for manipulating rift-spanning apertures devised by Nuhashan, the 9th Patriarch of House Daymir. We found it. We present these research notes to the faculty of Charlian Studium as both a token of our friendship and an expression of our boundless admiration. Okay. Make the final confirmation, Y'shtola. Is this it? Have something you'd like to show me, do you? My apologies, I flipped open a single book and was completely absorbed by the contents. This one. Well done, Gaddis. I think you may have found our prize. That's pretty lucky, too, because there's a shit ton of books in here. Just to pick that one out of all, like a needle in a haystack.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Daymir's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about.
It's a cool book cover, too. You gonna open it? Wait, what? What? Why were you handling it so weird? Oh, that's a familiar thing.
Among the ranks of the Voidsent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard. From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures. A talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations.
Unless you could tame one, maybe?
Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings revealed that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate.
Oh. Now I'm understanding when they were saying man-made void scent.
Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos.
Clever. So we just have to recreate one of those fucking things.
How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon void scent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales.
The only ones I know about were the cavernous maw from Final Fantasy XI, which is essentially the same thing as an Atomos, just that you could go back in time with it rather than through a rift to another world entirely.
And still, House Daymir went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive. It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves.
What? Are we only allowed to come in this one time?
Ah, but that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
Oh, so, if Grauha was in here before, did he have to use levitation on these center stacks? Because that's actually pretty understandable. Those are pretty damn tall. And I guess you'd need a ladder or something to get the ones at the top. As much as I would love to start crafting the Atomos, I'm afraid this is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we know a Hainish alchemist who'd be delighted to involve herself in our Housedamer project. Oh god, Nidhan is going to be so excited. Our business here is concluded for the moment. Please pass on our regards to the forum.
Your message will be conveyed. Should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature, I will be here. Patron mode disabled. Security mode engaged.
If anyone can help us, Nidhana can. I say we return to Thavnair and look for her at the Great Work. Security mode engaged, huh? Y'shtola tells me you are pursuing a most fascinating study, and that you want me to be a part of it. I have no doubt you'll be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Will it now? By the sisters! This is the mark of House Daemir. I never even knew such a work existed. Few should. It was sequestered in Numenon's restricted archives, after all. It was? But that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hand? I can hardly wait to read it! Of course, they're very similar, those two. To think the Daemir were developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over the centuries, I wonder? Now that you've glanced over the notes, what say you to helping us build a new mock automatos? A new mock Atmos? I say yes, 1,000 times yes. Work on a Daemir project that had even the redoubtable scholars of Sharlayan trembling in their sandals? No alchemist of the Great Work could resist. You are a woman after my own heart. I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big-mouthed simulacrum once we've built it? Why, travel into the void, of course. So, there's a secret void gate, and it's sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty? Today is a day of revelations indeed. Now, be responsible with that information, Nidhana. If the purpose of our man-made Atomos is to expand this hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself, I think. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then by all means accompany us to the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we've finished gathering the components I require. What are you gathering? Sharlayan's markets provided the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need to go no further than the font of Maya. The ascetics of old once favored the place for their meditations, and the water which pools there is now known to enliven the flow of ether. That sounds perfect. If you'd be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool, I will petition Vrtra to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? We meet back here anon. Astrally dense pocket. Okay. Now what? Oh, I had to go all the way here just to get water? Okay, well at least I can teleport back. Alright, here's your ether water. Do you have that flask for me? Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Gaddis.